We're live and we're happy. That's Linnell Willingham. I'm Denton Day. We're live from Honor Brewing in Fairfax. The Commanders snap the losing streak. They get themselves a dub at the hands of the New York Giants, 29-21. It's the best they've played in a long time, albeit against a team that's not very good. But a win is a win, Linnell, and it finally feels good to be doing one of those and being happy.
Yeah, I mean, first win since the month of October. So it's been a little while,
man. It's been a while.
And there was a little scare there at the end. Jeremy McNichols fumbling on a play that I still don't know if it was a fumble or not. But credit to the Washington defense of all things coming up big here for the win. Antonio Hamilton had a big pass breakup. Noah Igbinoghene had a big pass breakup. I don't want to overreact here, as I proceed to overreact. Where has Antonio Hamilton been all year? And where has Noah Igbinoghene been all year? In the doghouse. So I don't know, man. Those two, albeit it's against the Giants receivers, but like those two dudes at corner today look really good. We'll get to Mikey Sanders still coming up here in a second, but overall, good performance. I know some of you are going to be like, oh, we lost or we won, so we really lost because of draft positioning. You needed a win for the structure of the organization to stay the same, if that makes sense. You needed that so the morale in your building could raise back up because, like, no one wants to lose 9 straight games, man. It's tough.
There also wasn't a whole lot that losing would have done for draft position. You still would have been behind New York. I mean, maybe you'd be in front of the Jets, but, like, the Titans are going to lose today. The Browns got hammered. So you're losing a whole lot of ground there in the draft position. But you're right. I want to see some people smile. You know what I mean? Like, We hadn't seen a lot of people smile before. That big Terry catch was huge. Some of the defensive guys getting a little bit of confidence is massive. Lord knows there hasn't been a whole lot of opportunity for confidence from that group this year, and especially with 2 games against Philadelphia and 1 against Dallas. Maybe you need a little bit of confidence before you go into those matchups. So I was happy with what I saw just from a compete standpoint. It felt like they did have a sense of urgency.
For sure.
You couldn't have another bad performance after getting zipped on the scoreboard. Zilch, 0. I mean, you had nothing. They were awful last week. So the fact that they came out and they immediately kind of put belt to ass of the Giants, and the Giants suck. Like, that's a legitimately bad football team. We are bad relative to the expectations that we held for ourselves. And, the talent on the roster currently is also not exceptionally high, but the Giants are a legitimately bad football team. So you have to beat a legitimately bad team.
So I'll give them a little more credit because I do take into account that, like, the Giants had the Lions on the ropes. The Giants had the Packers on the ropes. Like, they've shown the ability to compete this year, unlike a certain team that plays in the NFC East. Cough, cough. Yeah. So I do think they get a little bit of credit from me. I think for our offensive line to play the way that they played today, going up against that front, I think it's another good sign that, like, hey, this group is really stinking good. And I know we were really high on them coming out of the Denver game last week because of, how exotic the pressure plan was from Brian Flores. It didn't make them look particularly good, but today I thought you saw them get back on track. Connerly was good. Brandon Coleman was good in relief of Laremy Tunsil. So a lot of positive coming out of this one and something you can build on.
And they ran the football well. I mean, they had fumbling issues. McNichols fumbled at the end and made that just sweating just a little bit that Washington was going to be able to pull that one out. Not pull it out, but, the Giants get that touchdown, maybe go for 2, and you're looking at the potential of overtime. Bill had another fumble. Mariota had 2 fumbles. I mean, they were putting the ball on the turf. So to be as loosey-goosey with the football as they were and still end up winning by 8 is impressive. Mikey Sanders still had a pick, which was huge. Quan Martin should have had a pick. Instead, he just had a pass defended. That gave.
Is that what they're going to credit him with? Because it was a 2-point conversion.
The pick was on that 4th down where they got it at the 2. Where if he caught that, it would have been a. I'm talking about a
2-point conversion. So Quan's pick was on 4th down, so it does count then.
Well, he dropped it.
Oh, they called it a drop.
They ruled that he dropped.
So clearly, well, full disclosure. I mean, I was dozing in and out of this. It was rough. It's cold in here, but it was incredible, man. I honestly can't believe we're actually doing a live post-game show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Live out here at Honor Brewing. You're the absolute best, man. But there are people here, by the way. I know you all think that we're doing. Yeah, you hear the happy people here. No, I thought the defense as a whole was awesome.
Yeah.
The defensive backs in particular is like the ones that I really want to give credit to. Antonio Hamilton, Mikey St. Rusto, Noah Igbenogany. I thought they were all really good, man.
We need security around here. They're coming after us, Leno. I thought they were too. I thought they looked really, really good. Now, albeit it's against bad receivers. There is no Malik Neighbors.
Text Wes to make sure he hit the button. I just got a text from Lou asking, are we live?
We're definitely live. Yeah.
Definitely live.
I thought the defensive backs looked really good, but again, it's very tough to judge them against bad wide receivers.
Yes.
And the Giants do not have good wide receivers. Some numbers: Jackson Dart statistically didn't play terrible.
Yeah.
20 of 36, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. He's only sacked once. The pass rush is non-existent. So, when you play against a Jalen Hurts or specifically a Dak Prescott, you can't get pressure on them, they're going to pick you apart. Jackson Dart is young. He still doesn't see the field exceptionally well. But when you play good quarterbacks that can see the field pretty decently, they're going to slice and dice you. Tyrone Tracy, 15 carries, 70 yards. That's 4.7 yards a pop. He had a touchdown. Dart had 9 carries for 63 yards. So the Giants ran for 146 yards against Washington. Their leading receiver was Theo Johnson, who caught 3 passes for 72 yards. As far as the Commanders go, because we care way more about them than the lousy-ass Giants, Mariota was 10 of 19 for 211 yards. It felt like he played way better than the numbers suggest, but 10 completions is pretty awful.
Yeah, so somebody wrote in the chat, I wish they would call this type of game for Jaden. I think you're going to see this moving forward, man. They're not dumb. They listen to all the noise, even though maybe they shouldn't at times. They're getting ready to, I think, we saw it here again today. They went under center hella today.
A lot. They kept setting up the play in the backfield where Ben Sinnott, who is just a fullback now, he lined up more at fullback than anything, where he's in the back, and then he just kind of shuffles, and then they hand the ball off to Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt, who was 4 yards short of 100 today. He was really good, 18 carries, 96 yards in the tutty, but he did have that fumble, which is not great. That's a thing with now Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt is the fumble situation.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think to your point, though, they were under center more. You saw them play with 2 tight ends a lot more often today. That is who I want them to be moving forward. They have the offensive line. You've invested a pretty significant capital in that group. You've invested pretty significantly at tight end with Bates. You invested with a second-round pick in Sinnott. Let's play into our big boy ball, man.
Run the football.
Want to keep seeing it. And you have the speed on the perimeter to, if teams have to stack the box against you, Terry's going to make them pay.
And Terry did. He had 3 catches, 69 yards. Nice. He was the leading receiver. He caught a touchdown pass that was, it was kind of like vintage Terry. He's open, and then he makes 2 guys miss because he's a physical guy up top. Yep. He's tough to tackle. Gets into the end zone. Get to see the scary celebration. But I'm with you. We saw a game plan today that was we are going to run the football.
Yeah.
And Marcus had 10 carries as well, so that factored into Washington's success running the ball. But playing downhill from an offensive line standpoint, when they were dropping back to pass early and not throwing it, it's kind of when Josh Connerly was getting beat a little bit by Brian Burns. And then when they decided, hey, we're going to run the football a lot, who was not getting beat a lot and whose side they were running to? It was Josh Connerly.
Right.
They were running to the right a lot. Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt had a lot of success going to that right side or going kind of up the gut. So I think they have found it. It's now about when Jaden comes back, is Cliff going to stick to it? Because it's felt like
he has to.
And this has been frustrating. When Marcus is in, they call the game one kind of way. And when Jaden is in, they call it a different kind of way. Now, they have different skill sets, but they're kind of similar in a sense.
Right.
You need to call it the way that you did today. If you are a run-first team and then just give Jaden kind of spots to tear the defense up, he's going to tear the defense up. That's exactly what it was last year.
And he's going to thrive off of it, man. Anytime you can create situations where your $30 million a year receiver gets one-on-one, it helps out the quarterback, helps out the receiver. So I agree. I want to keep this game plan offensively moving. And we say it all the time about the running game, man. I like to play pickup basketball. I like to play PlayStation. I like to watch, WWE old wrestling highlights. those are hobbies, right? Running the football can't be a hobby for Washington.
That's a
It's
lifestyle.
gotta be a lifestyle choice, man. So like, I just wish they would like lean into it. And I get it. Like Cliff it's just not who he is. And I think with a little bit of nudging here, nudging there from Anthony Lynn and Bobby Johnson, it's gonna be who you are.
I mean, I need less nudging. I need like full two-handed
Yeah.
presses. Like, hey, run the football. This
Yeah.
is what we are really good at.
Yeah.
Please do it.
100% agree. 100% agree. I just hope, now that you got your like last cupcake game out of the way, don't get blown out in any of the final 3 weeks, especially on Christmas.
Please not on Christmas.
Seriously.
I'm trying to enjoy the celebration.
I
I don't want to have my mood soured because you're just incapable of doing things. They get Philadelphia next week, and Philadelphia beat up on the Raiders. Shocker. Everyone beats up on the Raiders. You had infighting within Las Vegas with Devin White and Max Crosby. But, if you look ahead a little bit to what they have going on, it does feel like Philadelphia is starting to put it together a little bit.
Yeah.
And that should worry you a bit. They obviously beat the Commanders pretty handedly in the NFC Championship game. This is going to be your first matchup since then on this upcoming Saturday. So now you're on a short week, which Cliff statistically not very good on short weeks, which is more into what we said of running the football. Like if you're not great in short weeks, do what you do best, bread and butter, which is run the football.
Exactly. And that's a good point you mentioned, because I low-key don't know if we talk about it enough. Like, especially when you're an older team playing on a short week, like
It's tough.
You feel that lack of recovery time, man.
This is why we give you guys all those veteran rest days, right? Like,
for sure.
You got to recover well. We give it to you all in the beginning of the year, so you're ready at the end of the year to go and turn around. Now, the Sunday to Saturday is not the worst thing in the world, but then Sunday to Christmas, that's going to be a little bit tougher. So you're operating now at a disadvantage when it comes to rest and recovery, which means you need to take advantage of it, and you got to be the aggressor.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're going to struggle against Philadelphia and Dallas. Like, you just understand that's going to happen. Yeah. They're too talented. Like, the Giants literally do not have talent. There's a lack of talent on that roster, more so than there is even on this roster. Philadelphia does not have that problem. Dallas does not have that problem. We even saw instances today, like Bobby Wagner was in coverage on that Tracy touchdown reception.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put Bobby Wagner on coverage on Saquon Barkley.
Please,
that is
don't.
That is not going to end well. You can't put him on coverage on Dallas Goedert, who scored twice today for Philadelphia. That's not going to end well. So you got to be aware of these sorts of things. We'll get to some game balls here because this guy doesn't necessarily get a game ball, but I did like what I saw from Jordan McGee. And we've been talking about him for 4 weeks, 5 weeks now. Just, hey, we want to see more of him. It's not like he made some plays that were jaw-dropping, but it did feel like, hey, in open space, I can trust him to make a tackle. Yeah. And the unfortunate reality with how this defense operates is there's a lot of guys in open space. So can you take a 5-yard play and save it from being a 25-yard play? And the answer, at least today, was yes.
Yeah, I think he's going to continue to get more opportunities as the season goes on. Look, I'm never rooting for anyone to get hurt. But every time I see Bobby Wagner on the injury report, I cross my fingers and go, please be the day he's inactive and I can see a whole game's worth of Jordan McGee. Still haven't seen any Kane Medrano defensive snaps.
No.
Still very much frustrates me. But, to your point, I thought every time the guy is in the Madrid-Spain game is really when it was highlighted. You're making open field tackles on Devon Achane, so he can do it. He's got all the ability in the world. He just needs opportunity.
He's the Noah Willingham. I'm Denton Day. It's our Burgundy Gold post-game show. We're live from Honor Brewing in Fairfax. We'll be out there in Sterling in a couple of weeks. Let's get some game balls. So if you got some in the chat, throw them in there. We're interactive. We're on Twitter and YouTube at the Team 980 at 106.7 The Fan. Throw some game balls in the chat if you got them. I think the obvious one, Linnell, we'll just get out the way, was Antonio Hamilton Sr. No interception like Mikey did, but it felt like when plays needed to be made in the defensive backfield, 34 was always around.
Yeah, stepped up big time. There was a confidence he played with, man, that I loved. I don't know much about him. I know he's a little older, but his ability to run deep, I was, honestly really impressed with him, man, because I think the tackling was there. Like everything about him was good. It's just hard to judge it. Like I said in the pregame show, does it make sense? Is it fair to have overarching conclusions and make, definitive statements against the Giants,
And the
that's
answer,
the hard part.
probably not. But it was nice to see him deep and still play in phase,
Right.
still play physical,
Not
but turning
panic.
your head,
Right.
not get a pass interference call. Because how often over the last, let's just say 2 years, for example, have we seen a defensive back deep playing physical, not turning the head, just not doing the little things? You get a pass interference penalty. St. Juice did it. Marshawn Lattimore did it. Emmanuel Forbes did it. Like, they've all done it. And
Yeah.
for him to not do that I thought was really, really impressive. I was very blown when you were like, hey, by the way, this is year 7 for him. And I was like, damn it. If that guy was 22, you're bringing him back for sure. And I think you can still use him next year. But the fact that he's a veteran and you're trying to get younger in 2026 hurts a little bit. But I thought he was really impressive. I think another game ball to Mikey. Mikey played well, had that interception. That was a big interception. He wanted to house that bad boy. Yeah, Mikey went into receiver mode immediately as soon as he got that ball in his hands. He was like, I need to take this one. I need to take this one for 6. So I appreciate that. He didn't, but I appreciate the effort there. So I would give Mikey a game ball on the defensive side as well.
Yeah, I can agree. I thought he was solid. He gave up a touchdown there at the end, but I get it. The chat says Jalen Lane for sure.
For sure.
Got to be somebody that gets a game ball. He's impressive. Want to see him get some more opportunities on the offensive side of the football, but it kind of is what it is. Another one for me on defense, and you didn't really see him do a whole lot, but there were a couple of plays where he really made his impact felt, and his presence felt. Preston Smith had a couple of TFLs. I don't know if he actually officially registered a sack, but you felt his presence today. And
in the fourth quarter in specific.
Yeah.
And like, you want to talk about timing. It feels like he always gives you a couple good plays, but having those in the fourth quarter rather than the first quarter was huge.
For sure. And look, they're going to have to bring somebody back, to play next year. If you're choosing between Preston Smith and Von Miller, sorry, that sucks. But hey, one of those guys will be back here next year. I guarantee that.
I have 3 on offense that I want to give out, so I'll let you go first. So I'm not hoarding all of the selections.
So
2 are obvious, but
yeah, I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin. It's coming up big, making a big time catch down the field, being able to stretch the field. He definitely gets one from me. Bill obviously ran really hard in between the tackles and was able to break some tackles. Outside of that, it's a pretty standard day offensively. Can we give the O-line?
I was gonna give Brandon Coleman a game ball. If you're watching the game on mute, there wasn't a massive drop off, and don't take that for more than it is. That's just, hey, he played really well when asked to come in for Laramie Tunsil. Marcus Mariota had a couple strip sacks, but a lot of it was Marcus Mariota needs to get rid of the damn.
He is a turnover magnet. That's the only thing that irritates me about him.
And he holds the ball, and he holds the ball, and he holds the ball. Like, when you're at the top of your drop, you got to let that thing fly, or you got to step up or do something, man. And he just kind of sits there. So I didn't think that one was on Coleman. I thought he played well in the absence of Laramie Tunsil. Like, Tunsil was out, and then he came back in, and then he went out again. It was a shoulder situation on his left side. It does feel like that's one of those things where if this game mattered a lot more, he probably was going to be good to go. But that's also becoming like a Ronism now in 2025, where we just say that all the time, because I said that about Jaden, and they said that about a bunch of different players. But I thought in the absence of Laramie Tunsil, Brandon Coleman came in and played well. And for a guy that was getting healthy scratched at the early part of the season, it's nice to see him come in and play meaningful snaps and play well.
So it's interesting that you use the term healthy snap, because I was under the impression that's what it was as well. So after some further conversation, the reason he ultimately got benched is he was playing through an injury, and they thought he didn't have the play strength to be reliable while playing hurt. They let him get healthy, and unfortunately for him, Chris Paul's just been amazing. But he's now earned that swing tackle role.
It would have been really nice if they communicated that, because we went 3 weeks saying, well, this guy got benched, and we don't know why.
It's more of an injury, right? It's more of an injury thing. Is what I was told by somebody close to the situation. So, to your point, there's something there with that. I think it's a big reason why we feel good about the offensive line. It's not just about the starting 5. You got Coleman off the bench. I feel like Allegretti is a good backup off of the bench. Trent Scott's a good backup off of the bench. You feel good about what you have for the most part, man. So I think it was good that he was able to get some reps today.
And now we look to Philadelphia. That's in 6 days' time. You get Philadelphia on the 20th of December. Not much in it for you other than the potential of just making Philadelphia's life a little bit more difficult Although with Dallas kind of stumbling recently, it does feel like that Philadelphia is in a very strong position of control, especially the way they played today for the division. So now it's just about pride next week. And you put together a really good performance today. What are you going to do 6 days from now? Because if we would have run that exercise 2 weeks ago, after you put together a really strong performance against Denver, you would have thought going into Minnesota, hey, we're going to see the best version of this team, and they got ransacked. So this is going to put some pressure on the organization to say, you beat up on a really bad team that you were supposed to beat. What are you going to do against a good team?
I think that's the whole conversation. How do you handle success? We know how they've handled adversity by sticking together, continuing to play hard, but how do you handle success? Because I don't think you've won 2 in a row this year yet.
No,
so
they have not.
Handling success this year has just not been something they've been good at. I think you got a big opportunity coming up Saturday. Now, I don't know if Jalen Carter and Lane Johnson, I don't know if they'll be back for that game. But if there's no Jalen Carter, if there's no Jalen Carter, even with him in there, the Eagles' run defense has been part of the issue.
Run it.
So I think you'll have an opportunity next week, hopefully with Jaden Daniels. So
I want to see it look like Army-Navy, get 45 carries. Just run that thing right up the gut. Final thoughts here before we wrap it up.
Happy they didn't get blown out. I'm now really looking forward to how they capitalize off of this. Can you handle people talking well about you? And look, a lot of people aren't going to say much about you because you beat the Giants.
Yeah, I mean,
but like in the train ride home or the plane ride home, for the first time in a while, it's going to be a fun one. Y'all can play cards. You can bust out brewskis and talk trash to each other. Get on your socials.
You can play good music.
You don't have to be quiet.
You know, turned up. You're not no violin being played on the plane ride home.
So like, I'm happy for them. I'm happy they get to enjoy that. That's my big thing is how do you respond to the little bit of success that you've had?
We shall see. It'll be an important week for Washington, and who knows? Maybe number 5 will be playing to take on Philadelphia for the first time this year. That's Linnell Willingham. I'm Denton Day. We're wrapping it up here from Honor Brewing in Fairfax. We got one more of these. You want to come hang out with us? It'll be the final game of the year. We'll be at Honor Brewing in Sterling. Come hang out with us. Until then, we'll see you when we see you. We're out of here.